Yo, boys, how you guys doing? I'm gonna talk about the crypto markets today, what happened yesterday, why Bitcoin crashed that hard, what I'm thinking, what the market's going to do, in my opinion. Let's dive in. So, first of all, Bitcoin went on a crazy dump yesterday. We can see it dip down to 100k, as you can see. Also, it dipped down even under 100k, which is probably not for the best, in my opinion. However, why did this happen? First of all, most of the people are overreacting, in my opinion. If you see in the longer time frame, you can clearly see that we are still in an uptrend. However, it's very, very close that this can be very ugly. In the last video, I talked about that we have to stay between 115, 116 around this level and 105, 106 this level. We clearly have broken the structure. Why did it happen? All right. Yesterday, $1.7 billion in liquidations, which is very ugly, especially when there's not a big news or something, no real indicator of why. At the moment, also the fear and greed index is very low. It's at 23. It's at extreme fear at the moment. Also, $250 billion were wiped out from the crypto market cap yesterday, which is, again, a lot. However, I still believe, this is a clear structure, I still believe that if we don't hold this level, this current level, around 101, and we must check, in my opinion, stay above 105, 106 for a bullish uptrend, we can go lower to 90k, 95k. These are the next levels if we break this structure. So what did happen? As we all know, the government has been shut down, and currently it is the highest it's ever been. It's on day 36, which gives great uncertainties. Also, our beloved friend Donald Trump, he is currently making not the wise decisions. He is threatening China, he's threatening on tariffs and a lot of other things. With that, it creates uncertainty for investors because they do not know where to put their money in. Is he serious? Will he tariff? So it's not one big catalyst. It is multiple of reasons that come together which create a lot of uncertainty. It's it's a lot of factors in one. It's not just one factor. So one of those would be China and Trump fighting over tariffs and doing the most. The other one is government shutdowns, becomes the longest in US history. Also, their debt is also the highest at the moment. If we look at their debt here, debt US nation, you can see clearly their current debt is at a 38 trillion, which is an all-time high. And over the years, we can clearly see that it's getting bigger and bigger. Even under Trump, it's getting higher and higher. With the shutdown included, it gives uncertainties. People are not really confident. They are thinking that we are going to a recession or maybe we're going in a crash. And because of these two things that are happening at the moment, it creates, again, a lot of uncertainty. In my opinion, it's fair that it's creating uncertainty. However, being very long time in the markets, these things happen often. So in the last 24 hours, we have heard a lot of new news. For example, the Democrat leaders Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries have sent a letter to President Trump calling for a meeting to end this shutdown. This can be very bullish. When this happens, we can see a crazy pushback into the future. Why? Because the last time this happened, Bitcoin went on a 50% rally in just 3 months, which is insane. So if this happens, it looks good for crypto and for the markets, and this can be probably a hidden moment to buy. Besides that, on the Trump and China deal, we can clearly see that today Trump said Chinese President Xi Jinping is a friend of mine as much as he can be. Also, just in, President Trump says the stock market will hit many more record highs. He said this one time before, and when this happened, you saw the stock market rally. So people are getting a bit more confidence at the moment. They're still very fearful. However, these next couple of weeks, and I believe this week is very important. If we can stay higher than this, I believe this would be a great moment to go even higher if we hold this level. However, we have to see both levels. If we don't keep this, we can see a clear break of structure and we might go even lower, and this can take a while before we go up. However, I believe a lot of liquidity has been wiped out, and if you look at the liquidity heat map, you can clearly see there's not much liquidity on the downside if you compare it in the upside. There's a lot of liquidity around 111. It is around 100 million. If I see here, liquidity leverage is around 71 million. Here's no, my apologies. It clearly states that it's 280 million. Here another 100 million. So it is around $500 million purely for Binance in liquidity, which shows that the market maker still wants to get some liquidity, probably. So with this news of Trump and possible the shutdown becomes done, this can create a big opportunity. So what I have done is very easy. I have DC'd in some coins yesterday, and I am still wary. I'm not going all in. If we break the structure, I will buy even lower. However, this couple of weeks will be critical. In my opinion, for the people that are not day trading or doing a lot with crypto at the moment, wait it off, see what Trump is gonna do, see what he's gonna do with China. When that news comes out, then I would take the risk. In my opinion, I like these moments because the stats say something, and from a social economic standpoint says another thing. And I believe that in Q4 and Q1 we can see a lot of green, because in crypto it's very easy. When times are very fearful, when people are screaming on Twitter and you name it, that's the time you have to lock in. That's why I am putting more videos out. That's why I'm also talking to you guys directly. These are the times you want to dip into the markets. So, to keep it short again, we must keep this level, and we need to hear more news about Donald Trump and his shutdown. When those two happens, we can say we will go higher. If you like this, subscribe, like, leave a comment, and if you want to talk to me directly, you can join the free Discord, and I will see you soon. Bye.